Okay, and so we're still here at 100.5 FM, and we are broadcasting also at www.coopradio.org. We are also joined on the line with Jobina Bardai, who is a transformational coach who helps people navigate life's crossroads by supporting them with the mindset shifts and deep inner work needed to carve a clear path to their ideal future. And what was also really exciting for me to learn is that they are offering a workshop, and the proceeds are going to be shared with families in Gaza. So I thought that was awesome. And you've taken the time out to join us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Can you talk to us a little bit about some of the work that you do, and like how long have you been doing this kind of work? What kinds of things you find in this work that is joyful for you?
Absolutely. I feel like I've been doing this work forever. I've always been interested in self-development and on reaching my own highest potential. And I'm actually also a dance artist. I'm a contemporary dancer who trained in ballet. And all of these tools really came in handy because as I grew in my artistic career, I realized I was also sabotaging myself quite a lot. So I ended up doing so much of my own growth, and then it felt natural to start a coaching business. So I've been coaching professionally for 10 years. And the thing that gives me the most joy is seeing people get out of their own way and their lives start to change because they've come to these realizations of where they're sabotaging themselves or holding themselves back. And once they remove those blocks, then life really starts to flow and everything that they're wanting comes to them. It's really, really fulfilling.
That's awesome. So you work with people individually as well as in groups, or how do you offer your workshops?
Mm-hmm. So the workshops are offered in groups, and I have them live and online. And I also do individual one-to-one coaching. And I really like the balance of both. I love going really deep with individuals, and also then it's a fun vibe when you get people together.
Can you give us some examples of workshops you've had in the recent past? Some of the topics or things you've covered? Yeah, okay.
I've been doing a lot of emotional wellness workshops because the primary focus of my coaching is your relationship with yourself. So how you're feeling, what your motivations are, what your sabotages are, and so on. And I recently did a workshop in collaboration with another activist here in Vancouver on grief. It was called Holding Space for Grief and how to sit with it, because we're so often told to just get over grief, but no one really teaches you how to navigate through it. And I think grief is a really difficult emotion. And also I've done a lot of workshops on self-love, self-worth, self-trust, and also rebirth after difficult times.
That's really awesome. Jobina, how did this particular workshop come together for you?
Yes, I wanted to do more workshops to help families in Gaza. So all of the registration fees are going directly to 10 families who I've really come to love and gotten to know well over the past year and a half. And it just made me think about so many of us who are in the movement are so deeply caring and wanting really strong and loving relationships. And I think that if we offered this level of care to each other, then people wouldn't be doing these terrible things to each other in the world. So I think it starts with us, and when we care for ourselves and others, then it becomes a ripple that impacts the rest of humanity. So in a small way, it's one workshop, so I guess starts a ripple.
What kinds of themes or topics are you going to be covering in this particular workshop?
So first of all, always starting with our relationship with ourselves, because I think how we talk to ourselves and how we care for ourselves then naturally extends to the quality of our relationships. And then we'll be digging into any kind of beliefs around love, that, love is only painful, or any blocks we might have to love because of any fears. And this is both romantic love and friendships and, even in the collective. So we're going to be looking at love from different angles. And the whole premise is how can we become the people that we want to be in order to welcome and invite that love into our lives.
Jobina, can you give us a sense of how the workshop is going to be run? So it's going to be an online event. You'll have participants there. You'll be leading the workshop. And then what happens? Are you leading them through a series of exercises, or are they thinking and then writing stuff down that comes to them? I mean, sort of what's the process here?
It'll be both.
Okay.
So I really like to try to be experiential so that people are guided through how to have a transformation. So, for example, we'll start with some deep breathing, which includes pausing between, for example, an inhale and an exhale so you can hear your own thoughts. And I think this is actually the most deeply connected part of yourself, like the way to most deeply connect to yourself is between your breath and your thoughts. And then, yes, I'll give them an exercise, for example, like a values exercise to figure out what do you value most in your life, because that's really helpful in making decisions, including getting into relationships. Does this relationship meet my value of respect, kindness, and communication, for example? And then they'll be writing, so I will ask them to explore a certain topic around love and ask them to write about it, and then we'll also share in the group. So I try to mix it up and be as engaging as possible.
And how long is this particular workshop?
It will be an hour and a half.
Okay. And is it something that is open to anybody, or are there particular types of individuals that you think are more drawn to this, or what's the sort of level of where you're aiming for?
I feel like anybody who feels called to come to the workshop will join. You don't need to have any experience in self-development, or you can have a lot. I think it's going to attract anybody with a caring heart who would love some guidance and bringing more love into their lives.
Oh, that's awesome. Jobina, would you like to share with us where your connection to Gaza is coming from? You're so far away. I don't know if you've been there or you have any connection. Obviously, you are committed to be supporting. You're giving 100% of the registration fees to share it with these families. Can you talk a little bit about your experience around your activities with families in Gaza?
Mm-hmm, yes. Well, I think I've always been angry about the situation that's been happening there. It's so unjust. And it's something I've been really conscious of throughout my whole life. But it seemed like I was the only angry person. And now with, everything that's happened over the past 18 months, it's been wonderful to find a sense of companionship with other people who care and coming together in the collective. So I've been involved with groups here in Vancouver. I'm one of the anchors for Richmond for Palestine and other groups, as well as 2 mutual aid groups. And I have connected with people in Gaza. I didn't have a connection with them before all of this happened recently. But I've now since connected with these very warm and wonderful people in Gaza who I feel very privileged to be in contact with all the time and supporting them and getting to know them.
That's awesome. And so for folks who are interested, it's on, the registration happens really easy on Eventbrite. If you just go to eventbrite.ca and you search the title, Becoming the One, Welcoming More Love into Your Life in 2025, you should be able to find the registration. Jobina, thank you so much for taking this time out and sharing this with us. Thank you for the work that you do, and best of luck with the workshop, and we'll check in with you a bit later.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you. So that was Jobina Bardai, and once again, the title is Becoming the One, Welcoming More Love into Your Life in 2025. You can check that out on Eventbrite. It's really important to have this kind of self-care, especially for people that are so involved in community and advocacy and activism. It's really nice to have that.